Hello, this is Ollie's Movie Madness, and I'm going to be doing a movie review of Eternals. So let's dive into it. The storyline in this film is really interesting because we focus around these godlike beings called the Eternals, and they are tasked to not interfere with anything in the world. But unfortunately, there are these things called the Deviants who are trying to kill all the humans. So they had to break their promise to the Celestials in order to save the world. But then one of their teammates, Icarus, betrayed them and tried to keep the world in balance on his own. So they had to do everything in their power to take down Icarus and the Deviants and save the world and restore balance to the universe. And that's essentially what the story is for this film. They have to restore balance to the universe. The performances are really amazing, with the exception of one. But easily my favorite performance in this entire film is Salma Hayek, who plays Ajax. Her performance is probably one of the more emotional and one of the more beautiful performances of the entire film. Um, Now, Ajax as a character is really interesting. She's essentially the Eternal's, motherly figure. She really cares for them. The scene where she tells Dina that everything could be okay is a really powerful and emotional moment. I think her and Angelina Jolie play off each other perfectly. Speaking of that, Angelina Jolie plays Dina, and she was a really interesting character because she also wanted to restore balance to the universe, but she had this illness that she attacked her teammates, so they had to fight her to calm her down. And the scene where she's not intentionally but accidentally hurting her team, it's a really dark and suspenseful moment because it's like an illness that Dina can't control. So she has to keep her temper at bay. Kumail Nanjiani plays Kingo, and out of all the performances, he was my favorite. He was really funny. You could tell that this actor had a lot of fun, and Kingo as a character is just really funny. He's this actor, and the movie kind of referenced that he's a theater actor. He says, his introduction scene's really funny when he's like, I'm playing you. Do you like the costume because he's playing Icarus in a Broadway play? I thought that was really funny. The scene where he shoved the camera in Sprite's face and she flips him off, that was really funny. Barry Keoghan plays Druid, and he's the one that actually has morals. He wants to interfere to keep the universe in balance. And the scenes when he's bonding with, I forgot this one's name, but the one that can't talk or hear, but the one that can run really fast. I think their relationship is the highlight of the entire film. You can tell that these two characters really care about each other. Kit Harington, he's kind of a weak performance. He's not bad, but Dane Whitman, he's just boring in this. He doesn't really do anything. There are some good moments with him here and there, but he's barely in the movie. So this movie kind of butchered the character because he's an important character in the comics, but here he doesn't really do anything. So Dane Whitman so Kit Harington, he did a good job, but he didn't really do much. Who else? The actress who played Sprite, she was actually really good. Sprite as a character, it's not really evil. She's just misunderstood because she wants to be romantically infatuated with Icarus, but she can't because he's an adult and she's a kid. But we still find out that she's actually a grown woman trapped in a little girl's body. And I thought that plot point was really interesting. The scene where she says to Icarus, I'm coming with you. So she kind of makes a sort of villain turn, not really, but she kind of goes along with Icarus's plan, which was a really dark and suspenseful moment. Gemma Chan, this is where we get to the weirdest performance. She plays Cersei in the film, and she does a tremendous job, but I don't know why they brought her back in the MCU, because wasn't she that blue alien villain from Captain Marvel. I mean, I will say she gives a great performance in this movie, but Cersei's a character much like Yonrog, in that any other actress could have played this character, but I thought her performance was really great. She did a glorious job as the character. And the character of Cersei is a really tragic character because she wants to help the Eternals restore balance to the universe, but she gets into deep trouble with Ostrom the Judge. And the scene where he gets banished and Druid is freaking out is a really dark and suspenseful moment because she's getting put on trial for her fuck-ups because the number one rule is that you can't mess with the universe. You can't interfere with anything. But easily, well, that was actually the darkest moment of the film, and it works well. But easily the biggest standout of the entire film is Richard Madden as Icarus. His performance is probably up there with Tony Leung's performance in Shang-Chi as one of my favorite MCU performances. Icarus as a character is really interesting because he starts out good, but in the third act, he starts to turn bad. And this is the villain twist in Captain Marvel done right, because they actually build up to it. That scene where he said that he's done obeying the God's orders and he wants to do everything by himself was a really dark scene. That scene where he teams up with Sprite was a really dark and powerful scene. And I think Icarus is a better villain than Gore the God Butcher, because Gore the God Butcher is a great villain, but I think I like Icarus slightly more. He's definitely in my top 10 favorite MCU villains. The only performance I didn't really give a shit about is Bill Skarsgård, and look, he's a great actor, but I didn't give a fuck about his character or his performance. He played the generic alien motherfucker piece of shit character. He doesn't really do anything. Other than Koro or Crow, or fucking Russell Crowe, whatever you want to call this dumbass alien, is a nothing villain. He doesn't do anything, so I'm done talking about that character. The directing by Chloe Zhao was actually really great. I like how she gives all these Eternals personalities. You know, Kinga, the funny one. Richard Madden, the no-nonsense leader. Salma Hayek, a.k.a. Ajax, is the motherly figure. Dina is the wise one of the group. Cersei is the smart one / nervous one of the group, but still really brave. Ostrom, voiced by David Kyle, he does a great job. And getting back to Chloe Zhao's directing, she did a great job directing this film. I'll say the director for John Watts for No Way Home did a better job directing that movie than Chloe Zhao, but they both did a good job directing these MCU movies. David Kyle, really great villain, really overarching villain. If you think about it, he's kind of like the puppet master in the film, like the one that's orchestrating everything. The scene where he banishes Cersei is really dark and really suspenseful because, again, Cersei fucked up. She didn't obey orders from the god, from the Celestial, so he banished her, locked her in a cage, or some like yellow dome thing. They like, he banishes her somewhere. So in conclusion, I don't think this movie is as bad as a lot of people say it is. Yes, it has problems. Yes, Bill Skarsgård sucks in the movie. But I do think it gets a lot of stuff right, then a lot of stuff wrong. The final battle is interesting. The climax, I already said that. Final battle was interesting. The action sequences in general were really great. This is one of the more underrated MCU movies. Right up there with Iron Man 2. So that is my movie review. Wait, I give this film a 10 out of 10. So that is my movie review of Eternals. Hope you guys enjoyed.